episode of the Flea Flicker Show. We are your hosts, Fred and Dre. Welcome back to the show. Nice little intro song we got there. A little new thing for 2024 here. But yeah, I'm happy to be with you, Dre. Excited as hell for football, dude. All right. Well, I know we got a busy schedule ahead here with the games. So, not the games, with the predictions. We got the predictions going on for the 2024 season here. Who's going to win the divisions? Who's going to make the playoffs? Who's going to suck it up? There's going to be some in our predictions, at least in mine. I don't know about yours, Joy.
Yeah, I got some pretty bad teams on here. I got some pretty good ones too, and a bunch of middle of the pack guys that hopefully not too many people will get upset about. But I'm sure some of these guys, some of these fans will not like what I say about their team. But it is what it is. Happens every year. But yeah, today,
Yeah, and there's certainly
like you said, we're doing the predictions and season preview. Basically, talk about all the teams, see what we got going on, see maybe what we think some teams will do better or worse than last year, and eventual who is going to carry the Lombardi at the end of the. It's going to be fun.
who's it going to be? Is it going to be the Chiefs for a third year?
We both hope not. So,
I hope not.
But Fred, do you want to start us off, man?
Let's start it off. Why don't we start with the NFC East? And we both are fans of the NFC East,
Yes, sir.
in different ways. But let's start it off. Taking a look at my standings. Of course, I got the Birds coming out on top here in the division. I think they're going to be pretty unmatched here in the division this year. I got new coordinator on either side of the ball, improved at the wide receiver 3, improved on defense as well. So I have the Birds winning out at 15-2 in the division, which was a little surprising to me. It's a little unrealistic, but they do have some easy games. There aren't too many difficult games outside of the division. They face the Bengals, Ravens, Jets, I believe again, Packers. Not too many. I think I have them split in those. But next on up, I have the Cowboys at 10-7, Giants at 4-13. And a lot of people think that Washington's going to be pretty good, but I think their defense is still trash. They have a rookie quarterback. I have them going 1-6 at the division.
One win. God dang. I hope no Commanders fans are watching this. Good God. Mine's not too.
Commanders
Mine's.
fans, do those exist?
Maybe I haven't met any to be real, but but yeah, my predictions aren't too off from yours. I have the Eagles not quite as good as you, but I do agree that they're probably going to win the division. I see them as exactly what you said. They improved on both sides of the ball. They got the new coordinators in there that should be good. Fangio's a legend at defense on the defense, and they added Quinyon Mitchell. He should be good. Cooper DeJean. Like, they got some guys. Yeah, they lost Jason Kelsey, but I don't think that's really going to make a dent on this team. I have them going 13-4. The Cowboys, I don't have quite as good as you. I don't believe in the Cowboys this year. Maybe that's my bias showing, but I literally.
Honestly, I don't either. I just sorry to interrupt there, but
No,
like I don't either. But they just seem to do so well at home,
fair.
and they beat up on the bad team. You got to imagine any very winnable game they're going to win, and they're going to scrape out wins at home.
Maybe, but the thing that I don't think, I think their play calling is trash. I don't believe in Dak. I still don't. I don't care if he has decent stats every year. I don't believe in him. And they lost so many players. They lost Tyron Smith and Biadash on the O-line that they're replacing with rookies. Who knows if they're going to work out. Mike Zimmer's getting the defense. He's been good in the past, and the defense should be good. They should be good on defense still, but they still just lost a lot of guys. CeeDee Lamb just got paid, but like, I don't know. I don't believe in this team. I have them going 8-9 and missing the playoffs entirely. The Giants I do have next. I have the Giants and Commanders both tied at 6-11. I don't think either of them are going to be overly good, but the Giants scrape out wins that they don't deserve every year with good play call, and adding Malik Neighbors and Brian Burns, I feel like gives them a few wins just between those two. I'm not going to say much else about them. And then the Commanders. Yeah, like you said, they have the rookie quarterback. He looked really good in the preseason, by the way, and in training camp from all Jaden Daniels from what we've heard. But he's definitely going to have his bumps and bruises, and they don't have all that many weapons, so I don't see how they can win too many games this year, even with Cliff.
They don't really outside of McLaurin. There really isn't anything there. I mean, who's the wide receiver 2?
Yeah, Scary Terry. I literally think Baby McCaffrey, Luke McCaffrey, might be wide receiver 2. Like. I don't know.
Come mid-season point, I certainly think that he can take that starting role as the wide receiver 2 there. It's just not a lot to write home about. Like it's a pretty weak team. I think they could. I think Daniels could put up numbers, but in terms of like actually being successful, I don't buy it. As a fantasy guy, I do think he's kind of a sleeper pick there, but as far as real field production, I don't buy it.
Yeah. So we're pretty much in lockstep on how that's going to shake out for the most part. But let's move to the next division.
Yeah, well, when you want to go down to, you want to stay in the NFC, roll with the NFC North. It's a
I'm
pretty
down.
competitive division. I think NFC North is pretty good. So if you want to kind of rattle off yours, I'll give mine.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So NFC, you said North.
yeah,
Hold up. I'm looking at the South. Let me scroll down. Okay. Yeah. NFC North. Yeah, I think the NFC North should be really fun this year. They were pretty fun last year as well. But I do think that the Detroit Lions are going to end up on top again. I have them jumping out to 11-6. I originally thought that I had them doing a little better than that, but I dropped them down a peg for whatever reason. I have them going 11-6, and honestly, they look pretty good. They lost Jonah Jackson, but they added Kevin Zeitler, so that might be an improvement overall. They added DJ Reader on the defense. He's a beast. Marcus Davenport. And their only really glaring hole, they had two, I suppose, but their glaring hole was at DB. They had people passing on them left and right last year, but now they added Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw in the
keep in
backfield.
mind they did lose C.J. Gardner
They
Johnson.
did lose Gardner Johnson, but I just think Arnold and Rakestraw will be good on this team. So I think they're going to be pretty dangerous still. They got Laporta, Amon-Ra, Gibbs, and Montgomery, great O-line. I think they're going to be really good, 11-6. After them, I have the Packers. I still think they're going to be good, but I really don't think they're going to be as good as people think. People are really high on the Packers right now for good reason. They were explosive at the end of the year, but before that, they did lose some games before they pulled it together. So we'll see what they can do. I don't know. They added Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. They lost Aaron Jones and Bakhtiari, but I mean, those are kind of replaceable guys at this point in their career. Um, they should be a contender again, realistically. I do have them going 9-8 though, and
Mhm.
maybe sneaking into the playoffs. We'll see when we get to my predictions. But yeah, I don't know. It really depends on how Jordan Love looks and how the receivers shake out because they don't really have a wide receiver one. I know you'll talk about one in a little bit, but after that, I do have the Bears. I think they'll be pretty good this year. I have them going 9-8. They added DeAndre Swift, obviously the rookie Caleb Williams. We'll see how he does. Romo Dunes has looked good in training camp and preseason. Keenan Allen got added, and they're pretty loaded. I mean, I feel bad for Justin Fields. Honestly, he didn't get what Caleb Williams is getting in year one. So I think they're going to be pretty solid. DJ Moore and Cole Kmet, the defense with Montez Sweat should be solid. 9-8, yeah. And then I do have the Vikings kind of not being very good this year. I think they're going to have a bad year. They lost Kirk Cousins, replaced him with JJ McCarthy, and then McCarthy is out for the season. So Sam Darnold will be leading this team. Do you trust Sam Darnold is basically what this is going to come down to. I do not. So yeah, they added Van Ginkel and Dallas Turner on defense. So maybe the defense will be okay, but I don't know. Obviously, they have Jordan Jefferson still, Justin Jefferson rather still, and he's a beast. And Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson is hurt, and Aaron Jones is old as shit. So I don't know. I just think they'll be okay. I have them going. I have them actually going 4-13. I have them pretty bad. I have them having a real bad year. What about you, man?
Well, you don't have him as bad as me. So,
Oh,
uh, weirdly enough, I am gonna repeat here. And in terms of a record point standpoint, that is the second and only other team that I have going one. I have them finished at the bottom of their division at 1-16. I- I'm pretty much on the same boat as you. I don't trust any team that's ran by Sam Darnold. I mean, he's fuck. How is he still in the league? Honestly, he's
because he's
bad.
young, I guess. I don't
He's
know.
bad. But yeah, they have Justin Jefferson, but outside of him, there's not really much there. I mean, Addison is battling injury issues, legal issues, so who knows what his status is going to be
True.
for most of the year, really. I mean, you got to imagine either having lingering issues going on outside of the off the field or lingering issues on the field. As far as everyone else, Hawkinson hurt, Aaron Jones is going to get hurt at some point this year. Kind of yellow, I feel
Very
like.
injury prone.
Anyway, well, yeah, pretty injury prone. Defense isn't very good, so there's not a lot there for me. I do have kind of next up. I'll go in the reverse order here. Next up, I do have Bears. The record for them, I was kind of back and forth on. I have them going the same as they did last year, really. I have them 7-10, but I think they're going to be in a lot more games. I think they're going to be contending in a lot more games, kind of trying to push the needle a little bit, but ultimately their offense is good, their defense is not. So I have that kind of be the difference maker for them, especially since they do have. I mean, Caleb Williams is talented, but he's a rookie. Even if
Yeah.
you put a rookie in a great scenario, it's still tough to succeed, and they're in a really good division. So
Yeah, not everyone
going to
can
the
be
top
CJ
two,
Stroud.
no, certainly, and not everyone can beat him, and there really wasn't. I mean, he set rookie records, so it's like him, Andrew Luck. I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
really good. It's tough. It's tough air to be in. Is to be in the CJ Stroud conversation, and I don't think Caleb's going to be there. I see more of like a Trevor Lawrence kind of career trajectory. As far as the next guys up, it's pretty similar to you there, but flipped. I have Detroit and the Packers both going for.
Oh,
So
you're much
I
higher
just
on the
have them
Packers.
running wild on their division, and really just beating up on each other. There's a lot of games in both of their schedules that I think are very winnable. And I mean, as far as it goes, I think both teams are pretty evenly matched. Both teams are a little bit lacking on the defensive side. They are improved there, but they do have some liability. And as far as the offense, Detroit powerhouse last year. They're going to be a powerhouse again this year with everybody still there in tow. And Williams should roll as their wide receiver 2 there as well. I'm pretty excited for that. But for the Packers, I know you said they don't have a wide receiver 1. I don't really think that matters. I mean, look at the Chiefs. I mean, outside of Kelsey, they don't have a wide receiver 1 really.
Yeah, but does
And
Jordan love
Kelsey,
Patrick Mahomes?
no, he's not.
Is their
And
coach Andy Reid?
we'll get to that later on. We'll get to that later on. But I do think the Packers are going to be good. A lot of winnable games. It's tough to lose. It's tough for a team to come in and win at Lambeau. So I think they're going to be a solid squad. 14-3 might be a little lofty, but I think they're going to be right there in contention for their division.
Yeah, I do have them making the playoffs. I have them making a wild card berth, but I just don't think they're going to be as good as everyone's hyping them up to be this year. And I'm buying the hype on the Bears. I think they'll have the same record as the Packers. They also have a very easy schedule. But yeah, let's move. Who do you want to do next? What division?
Let's go NFC West.
NFC West. What you got, bud?
NFC West, pretty standard. I think same standings as they had different records. So it is going 49ers at the top, Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals in that order. A little bit different record wise though. I kind of breezed through the records. My first was here's another team at 14-3, a little more realistic, I think, than the NFC North, but the San Francisco 3. I have Rams at 7 or 11-6. However, one game I was a little caught up with for them. But next down up, I have the Seahawks at 6-10 and the Cardinals at 5-12. Don't really think both are going to contend division. I think really top.
Yeah, I have the same exact rankings as you and almost the same records. I have the 49ers at 14-3 also. So I do think that that's realistic. They're very talented and yeah, I don't think they really lost. They added Ricky Pearsall. They just paid Brandon Ayuk. So they're going to have all their guys again.
We want to stay on the Brandon Ayuk conversation really quick. He just got paid. What do you think happens next? Who's the next person to get paid? Is it Trent Williams?
Got to be. It's got to be Trent Williams.
They got to pay Brock Purdy.
No, he can wait. It's got to be Trent Williams. You have to protect Brock Purdy's blind side, and Trent Williams is one of the best blockers in the league. They have to pay him. He has sat out before when he was on the Redskins. He sat out a whole year because they didn't pay him. The 49ers have to pay them. They need him.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously you're gonna pay Purdy. I think going into next season, I think they need to capitalize right now with Debo there. I think this might be the last year for Debo in San Francisco. I think next year, because they need to pay Purdy's not going to get the upper echelon money. He's been productive, but it's more. You go over to the question: is he more of a system quarterback? He's going to get paid, just not that crazy top level dollar. But
I think that's debatable, though. I think it's debatable because, like, you got people like Trevor Lawrence. He literally got the second highest salary, or tied first or something.
More draft capital though. He was the top draft pick.
That's fair. I do think maybe Brock Purdy won't get like number 1, but I could see him getting like number 5, something like that. He'll get paid. He'll get big bucks for sure.
He's gonna get paid. It's just not gonna be like that level.
He's not going to break the
But
record, probably. Yeah.
no, I do think that
Speaking of Debo, real quick, I
next year.
think so. My thoughts on this is that we're going to see a lot of Ricky Pearsall in the beginning as they're trying to kind of suss out if he can be the Debo replacement.
Mhm.
So I think we're going to see a lot of Ricky Pearsall, and then if he's working out in the first 6 weeks, I think Debo could even get traded this year, flipped
Possible.
for something. It depends on
Yeah,
how they
well,
feel though, because they could want him for that Super Bowl run, So,
I have Debo and Dynasty really trying to flip it.
but yeah, I'll keep going. 49ers 14-3. I think they'll be really good. I have the Rams at 13-4, so I have them a little higher than you. I'm very high on them. I know they lost Aaron Donald, which is a huge loss. They did add Jared Verse, but I mean he's not Aaron Donald. So
No.
I still think they'll be very dangerous, though. They got Puka and Coop back healthy. Kyron Williams is going to be there. So I think they're going to be really good
Yeah,
and
I
make
think
a
that
playoff run.
tandem of Blake Corum, Kyron Donald.
Yeah, I agree. They kind of added Corum because Kyron Williams got hurt last year. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really good duo. After that, I got the Seahawks at 7-10, pretty close to you. I really think the getting rid of Pete Carroll was a mistake on their part. Mike McDonald might be a good head coach, but Pete Carroll was a legend. So I don't know. He still had a lot of energy inside of him. I think he was still fine. So I think they're going to have a bit of a down year compared to the previous years. They don't have anything overall. They have a decent team, but they're going to be middle of the pack. And then the Cardinals, I have going 5-12. I want them to be better. I like their coach. I like that they got Marvin Harrison. Hollywood Brown's gone, but Trey Benson they added. I like him, and Kyler Murray makes plays, but there's just something missing on that team for me, and I'm not entirely sure even what it is. But I have them going
They're going to have
5-12.
pieces, especially on the offensive side, like you said. I mean, you have Kyler Murray, you have Marvin Harrison Jr., you have Trey McBride, you've got James Conner, you've got Benson coming in as well. Like there's offensive pieces there. Offensive line's not great. Defense isn't great, and
The defense, I agree. I think they're going to hold them back from winning a lot of games. I think they're going to get pooped on the defensive side. So, but they're on their way. They could be a team that surprises. We'll see.
Some upsets from them late in the season.
Very true.
All right, and kind of leaves us with one more division then in the NFC. If we want to go to the NFC South, I know you got a gem here that you are always pretty fond of with Baker. So I'm gonna let you take the first go around on the NFC South.
Yeah, the NFC South, like you said, Baker, I absolutely love him and the Buccaneers, but I do have the Falcons taking this division at 12-5. I have the Bucks I think I have them making the playoffs. Do I? Oh, I think I have them just missing the playoffs. That's unfortunate. But either way, I have them doing good still. I have them winning 10 games with Baker and that team. And then I have the Panthers at 5-12, so improving slightly. And the Saints I have absolutely bombing at 3-13. But I'm going to go through them a little bit. The Falcons, they added Kirk Cousins.
3-13. That's one.
3-14. Correction. Thank you. Yeah, I have them doing very bad. But yeah, the Falcons 12-5. They added Kirk Cousins, and I think he's going to really make that team explosive. Zach Robinson is the O coordinator coming from the Rams. I love the makeup of this team, and I think they're gonna be a literal contender as early as year one with Kirk Cousins and this team. Bijan, Drake London, Pitts, Mooney, Algier. The O-line's very good. The defense lost some players, but they're decent. So I think they're going to be really dangerous. The Buccaneers, I love Baker, like I said. I think he's going to really improve and prove himself. Their team is getting older since they lost Tom Brady. Mike Evans and Godwin are both not any younger, but they're still talented. They got Rashad as a running back, and the defense is solid. So I think they're going to be solid and decent enough to try to make a playoff push. Not sure if they make it. And then the Panthers and Saints, I just think aren't going to be great. Panthers, I do think will be better. Dave Canales is a quarterback whisperer and a great play caller. But I still don't trust the quarterback there, to be real. He looked so bad last year, Bryce Young. Will Dave Canales fix him? We'll see. They added Deontay Johnson, Xavier Leggett, Jonathan Brooks, some O-linemen, Clowney, Jewell. They lost Brian Burns and Frankie Louvu, so that's pretty tough for their defense. But I still think they'll be better than last year when they were the worst team in the league. Just how much better, basically, are they going to be? And then the Saints, 3-13. I hate the Saints, to be real. I hate them this year. I think Derek Carr is going to absolutely just implode upon himself this year. I don't like their head coach. I think their play calling is garbage. Although they did add Clint Kubiak, but do we trust him? He was with the 49ers, maybe. They added Fuaga in the draft, but honestly, their O line is in shambles. They added Kool-Aid McKinstry. He can help, I suppose, a little. The defense is semi okay, but I just think they're not going to be good at all, and everyone's going to get fired. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we have the exact same standings, um, just a little bit different of record. So I also have the Falcons coming in the top of the division at 12-5. I agree. I think Kirk Cousins, while he's not a world beater in terms of quarterback, he puts up numbers. He leads an offense. He manages an offense well, and I think it's a step down from the receivers he had previously. But hell, I mean, having Kyle Pitts, having Drake London, Darnell Mooney, that's a pretty decent three wide receiver set there. I'm including the tight end as a wide receiver. I know this.
Yeah.
And then coming out of the backfield, Bijan Robinson and Algier, who are both good receiving backs. And they're going to run the ball a lot as well. The offense is expected to be running pretty much through Bijan. They've made that known. It's going to be pretty much just like what CMC is doing in San Francisco. And look how that off. I mean, if it can be anything close to that, it's going to be a good offense. Defense is quietly solid. So I also have them going 12-5, winning that division outright. Up next, I also have the Buccaneers. A little bit worse than you, though. I have them at 8-9. They were a team where a lot of games I was very back and forth on. Do I want them to win? Do I think they can lose? There's a lot of games they can win, but I had them losing. So they can easily win 10 games in my mind. Be right there, kind of scraping at the playoffs, but just falling a little bit short in my mind. Like you said, the team is getting a little bit older. Baker looked great last year, but the team is getting old. Uh,
I will say real
Godwin,
quick, one thing
yeah,
to
go ahead.
note about the Bucks is they did lose Dave Canellis, and if you look at Dave Canellis' record, he was the one that got Geno Smith to play
Mhm.
very good before he got paid, and last year he got Baker to play really good before Baker got paid. Now he's with the Panthers, where maybe he makes that quarterback look good, but will Baker have a
Maybe.
down year without Dave Canellis? I hope
It's a
not, but
great
we'll
point.
see.
It's a great point. I mean, Baker's fun to watch. I mean, I'm not a huge fan just because he was a Sooner and I'm a Longhorns guy, but very fun to watch. So I like his attitude. But Godwin's moving back to the slot this year, which great for Godwin in terms of fantasy projection. He's always had his best career years out of the slot, so it should be great. Then next up, I also have the Panthers. Don't have them doing that great, but I have them going 4-13. I think they're going to be decent on offense. Their defense is still atrocious, but offensively, I don't think they're going to be as bad as last year, but I still don't believe in Bryce Young. I don't think he's going to take them to where they need to be. Situation where, yeah, they're putting up some points, but he's also throwing a lot of picks and costing them a lot of wins. So finally, rounding it
Well,
out
real
is
quick, one thing,
go ahead.
one thing I wanted to say about the Panthers. I don't think we mentioned it last year, but did you hear David Tepper actually basically made them pick Bryce Young? They were planning on picking C.J. Stroud, from what I heard,
Yeah,
and
and
Tepper made him
that
pick. That's
that
crazy! What a terrible owner! What a garbage
is
bag of an
he's
owner!
a terrible owner. I think you and I could step in and come run that organization a lot better than he is. And I'm not tooting our own horn or anything. I'm just saying that
Toot it,
he's a fucking terrible owner.
yeah, but yeah, Saints. What
um,
were you gonna say?
yeah. Lastly is the Saints. Kind of the same thing as you. I mean, they have some good players there. They've got Olave. They've got Kamara, but Kamara's battling so many legal issues off the field.
Mm.
Like, what the
And he's
fuck's
old.
going on with him and his career? What's going to happen? Derek Carr. I used to be a believer in Derek Carr. I've always liked Derek Carr. I don't know if it's because he reminds me of Sid from Toy Story, even though that's the bad guy. It takes me back to my childhood. But I don't know. I've always believed in him. I always root for Raiders, and he was a Raider, so obviously. But
I liked him as a Raider.
yeah, I think he fit the Raiders. I don't think he fits the Saints. But the Saints, you said you don't like the coach. You don't like this. You don't like the offensive line. That whole organization just in shambles. It just seems like they're on skates, just trying to survive. They're just gonna fall apart.
I agree. I agree
Um,
100%.
but that rounds out the NFC. I have obviously the division winners making the playoffs, and the Falcons, the 49ers, the Packers, Eagles. Eagles taking the number one, and then the wild card teams being the Rams and the Lions.
There's a third wild card team. Oh wait, no, sorry, I missed that. You said the fourth.
Oh,
Sorry,
the third
sorry,
wild
sorry.
card team. The third wild card team is the Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah, mine's not too different from yours. I have where am I? I have the Eagles at 1, the Falcons at 2, the Lions at 3, and then the Rams at 4, Packers at 5, and I have the Buccaneers at 6. Wait, sorry, I missed. Who did I miss? The Niners. Yeah, the Niners where it will come to.
Hey, I would love if the Buccaneers got in instead of the Cowboys. Fuck them Cowboys.
I have it happening, baby.
Yeah, it's pretty much it with it regarding the NFC. Let's move on over to the AFC. I know you had some that you were missing here, so I'll kind of take it from the start, and then if you want to kind of jump in and see where yours look like from there, we'll take
Yep.
it from that point. The NFC surprised me a little bit on my standings, but I'm going to start with the AFC. I have a complete flip from this division. I
Ooh.
have the New York Jets absolutely taking this division. They have really just powered by their defense. Last year, they won so many games and were in so much of their dominant defense, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. And then adding the fact that hopefully there's a fully healthy Aaron Rodgers who still has something left in the tank there, certainly better than Zach Wilson at quarterback. Adding in the fact that there's now Mike Williams to pair with Garrett Wilson. Now there's two running backs in the backfield and not just Brees Hall. This team is going to be good, and I actually have them going 15-2, which was fucking shocking for me. For whatever reason, I was just picking them to win. The Jets are still going to jet though, so that probably isn't going to happen. The Dolphins were a team that was a little bit weird for me because while they have so much talent, they did lose their defensive coordinator. They don't seem to win those tough games they need to put them over to the next tier. They just take advantage, similar to the Cowboys, I guess. They just take advantage of team on their schedule. They take advantage of the away games or the home games, sorry. And I have them going 9-8. They could easily win 10, win 11. But I have them going 9-8 and getting second seed there. I have the Bills completely falling back. I don't think they're going to be necessarily be terrible and out of a bunch of games, but I had them going 5-12 and
Oh my
rounding out.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they could. I think they could also go
Bills
seven and
fans are in
10,
shambles
8 and
right
9.
now.
But
Oh my
there's what's the offense going to do? I mean, first off, the defense, they lost defensive players. The defense is not healthy going into. They're going to start off. Josh Allen has no connection with anybody that's going to be a receiver besides his tight ends. And who's a receiver for them? It's the best option is a rookie in Keon Coleman. It's got to imagine he's going to be off to a rough start to start the year. So I actually have them. I think I have them starting 0-5. But I think it's going
James
to be a
Smith.
rough year for the Bills. We're going to really see what Josh Allen is made of. If it really was because of Diggs that he was successful, or if he can really make an offense regardless of who's there. That is to be determined. And then kind of rounding it out, it took me a while for the Patriots to actually get a win, but I have them winning 2 games, going 2-14. I don't think they're going to be good. I think that is a pretty unanimous feeling across all football universe. The Patriots are not going to be good.
Yeah, I have similar for the most part here. I do have the Jets also taking it rather easily. I have them going 14-3, which is close to yours. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come back with a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to be going like lights out. Garrett Wilson is going to be going crazy. You mentioned the running backs. The O-line is fixed. They shouldn't have the injury concerns that they had last year. And then that defense has been one of the better defenses for years now. So, yeah, I think the Jets will be really good this year. They're definitely making the playoffs, in my opinion, barring the injury
Keep in
bug.
mind, offensively, like Brees Hall was coming off a torn ACL last year and still crushed it.
Yeah,
He's healthy this year, so he's going to.
they're going to be a fun watch. And I'm excited for Jets fans that have had it very difficult for the past decade plus.
Yeah.
After that, I also have the Dolphins. I
Do we
have them
know any
going
Jets
10 and...
fans?
What's that?
Do we know any Jets fans? Donald, right?
Yeah, Donnie.
The only one.
Yeah, surprisingly, coming from New York.
Coming
They've
from
just
New
been
York,
so
yeah.
bad for so long, all their fans left. but
Not even in their own state.
yeah, I have the Dolphins next. I have them going 10-7. They did lose some pretty big defensive names: Christian Wilkins, Van Ginkel, Raquan Davis, Xavier Howard. But yeah, that offense is just so dangerous that they're going to keep them in any game you can think of. As long as the defense can be semi-okay, they'll be in games. And I think they will be making the playoffs. Will they make a playoff push once they're playing really good teams? That remains to be seen. After that, I do have the Bills. I don't think they're going to crash nearly as much as you, but I do think they're going to go. They're going to have a relatively down year for them, all considering. But I have them going 9-8 overall. I'm not going to lie. I gave them an extra win because I had them at 8-9, and I was like, nah, I got to have them have a winning season. But
I
yeah,
want
they
them to do
lost.
well. I like the Bills, but I think it's just going to be tough.
Yeah, I agree. They lost Stephon Diggs, like you mentioned. Their linebacker, one of their best defensive players, is out. So it's going to be a trying year. Keon Coleman, I do like a lot, but how talented is he actually when he gets on the field? We'll see. So I don't know. It'll be a trying year for sure, but I ultimately do have them, I think, making the playoffs, just barely scraping in. And then I just lost my place real quick. Patriots, yeah. And then the Patriots, I have the worst team in the NFL. They're going to be terrible. I have them going 3-14. I'm very excited to watch them lose. I do like Drake May a lot, but he won't even be starting out. I just don't trust them. They look bad on offense. They look bad on defense. They probably look bad on special teams. Christian Gonzalez, it will be coming back for the defense, so maybe he'll help out with Jonathan Jones, but will that be enough
Coming
to
off a
win
major
more
injury
than
though,
3 games? I don't know. They're going to be
yeah,
bad.
coming off a major injury, you could see a lot of these older Patriots be in trade talks later on. Blanking on the top Kendrick Bourne. Um,
I don't even think they have a top receiver. Come on now.
Kendrick Bourne, I think. But anyway, I think they could be trading off veteran players here. Just kind of embracing that youth movement
Embrace
with
the
Drake May
suck.
and putting. But yeah, it's nice to see the Patriots suck after they were so good for so long.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to move to the AFC North, if that's cool with you.
Cool with me.
Yeah, the AFC North was actually pretty difficult for me. I think there's a lot of question marks in this division all throughout. Every single team has question marks, but ultimately I did end up going with the Bengals at number 1. I haven't gone 13-4. Maybe that's a little high. I'm not sure what you think, but Joe Burrow will be back. Their running back, they have a new running back in there, but he looked solid last year. I think was it Zach Moss, right? Is that his name?
Yeah, and it's debatable whether or not he's actually going to retain the starting job. Chase Brown, who they drafted last year out of Illinois, by all accounts, rumored really just taking off.
Yeah, but they got Jamar Chase. He still has to get paid, so hopefully that happens soon. And their O line, I think, will be solid, and their defense will probably be solid. I honestly, now that I'm talking about it, I think 13-4 might be generous, but that's ultimately what I have for them. After them, I got so confused on what to do. I do have the Ravens actually next, though. I have them going 9-8. I don't really like the
Wow.
Ravens, to be honest. I've never liked Lamar Jackson as a quarterback, but I do love the combo of him and Derrick Henry in the running game. I think they're going to win games just between those two. But their O line took some hits this year in the offseason. So we don't know if they're going to be great. And their receiving room is never great. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Their defense, though, might be good, I think. So I haven't gone 9-8, but we'll see what happens there. Then after them, I have the Brownies at 8-9. I just don't know what to do with the Browns simply because they're very talented, but Deshaun Watson has been just a C for that quarterback room and for that offense. Will he come on this year and be the Deshaun Watson of old or even be a decent player? They hope so. They're paying him the money to be. If not, and I hope not, to be honest, what I hope happens with the Browns, I hope he gets benched and we see a Jameis Winston resurgence this year. That's what I'm hoping for. I love Jameis Winston. I think he's hilarious and very talented. But ultimately, we're talking about Deshaun Watson at the moment. The running back room, Nick Chubb will be out for, I think he's out for at least the first 4 games or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the running game might take a hit there. Their O line is okay, solid, whatever. Maybe they're good. I don't even remember, to be honest. But they have Amari Cooper still. They have a solid team and solid defense. Overall, 8-9, I think, is a solid record for them. And then the Steelers, along with the Patriots, I think is going to be the worst team and the Saints. The Saints, the Steelers, and the Pats, I think are going to be the worst 3 teams in the league this year. I have the Steelers going 3-14. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields both looked horrible in training camp and in the preseason. Their number 1 receiver is like the only difference maker, really, I think, on the team on offense. I mean, maybe you can make a case for some of the running backs. They're okay. But who's their tight end? I guess their tight end's solid too, right? But I just don't trust them at all. The defense, yeah, they do have one of the best defenders in the league, and maybe the defense will come on strong and win them some games. So you can say that for them, but I just don't think they're going to be good at all. And I think Mike Tomlin is going to be on the hot seat at the end of the year. What do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, a little bit different on my side. Similar but different. I actually have the Ravens winning out this division, tying for the best record in football at 15-2.
Very different from me
Uh,
then.
Hey, yeah, you had them in second in the division, but I have them a lot better. So, I mean, last year the Ravens were 13-4, and now they added Derrick Henry. So I think that that team is just it's a solid squad, very well coached,
True.
and I don't see them really just falling off at all. I only see them getting better. So
I disagree,
at the
but
very least,
teach
I
their own.
think they're going to be similar to your. But next up, I have Bengals. I have the Bengals at 14-3. I think they're going to have a complete rebound year. Now that I realize it's going to happen, but yeah, I have them coming in second in that division, having a rebounding year there with the whole offense, like you said, that is going to be there with Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, Zach Moss, T. Higgins, Burton, the receiver they got in the draft this year, I think is a pretty solid get. So pretty decent options there for them. And who do they upgrade at tight? Do they get Gesicki? Is that who they got?
Possibly. I don't remember off the top of my
I
head.
think it was either Gesicki or was it Hunter?
Hunter Henry's still in the Pats.
Okay, so it's Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, it's Gasicki.
Yeah, it's Gesicki, and he's definitely an upgrade for what they had last year. Andre Iosovas, also a very solid receiver for them. So the offense is good, the defense solid as well. So I think they're going to be a pretty solid team pushing for that division. Next on up, I do not have them. I actually changed this before we got here, but I had the second division before flipping it. The Steelers were 10-6, 10-7 last, and that was with trash. Like, they have one of the best defenses in the NFL, that defense games. And I think that's going to be the same thing this year. And now they have a better quarterback in Russell Wilson, who at times with the Broncos last year, the Broncos were an absolute dumpster fire. He didn't look terrible. He didn't look bad. He was just in a terrible situation. I don't think he's the Russ of old, but he's certainly an upgrade from what they had last year with Kenny Pickett and was it Mitch Trubisky? I mean, the whole QB fucking mess. You could have taken really any of the top 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks from last year's quarterback class, and they probably would have done better than the guys last year in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I think, is a solid squad.
I think they
And
have a very
Pickens
tough
is
schedule
going to be
though
a
as well.
master. What's up?
I think they have a tough schedule though as well, and I don't
Yeah, I
trust
mean
the quarterback.
they got to play that division. I mean that's the best division in football, honestly. That division is fucking good.
I disagree, but they were last year, so
It's a very good division. But rounding out that division,
I'm a hater. It's fine.
I do have the Browns. The Brownies are going to Brown. Deshaun Watson, fuck that guy. He's a bitch. I'm the same testament as you. I'm not a Deshaun Watson fan for a number of reasons, but I just don't think he's there. I don't think his head's in that space to where he can throw where they need to be. Outside of Amari Cooper, I feel like the wide receiver room is pretty suspect, honestly. Without Nick Chubb for most of the season, what are they going to do? I mean, yeah, Jerome Ford was solid last year, but it's like I don't think Jerome Ford is the answer for a year with every team preparing for him. So yeah, I have them coming in at the end of that division with 4-13.
So basically, we're very different on this division, is what I'm getting.
I guess. Sure.
Speaking of Deshaun Watson, real quick though, did you see that they redid his contract again?
No, I
Yeah,
didn't see that.
they added another year at the end of it and made it
I mean,
cheaper
another
this year.
zero. Wow. Wow.
But next year his cap hit is going to be like 73 million, which is not sustainable at all. So I don't know what the heck they're doing there. I don't know what the GM's doing. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Maybe they'll cut the cord. That'll be crazy. But what do you
Okay.
got next?
I mean, next we're obviously flipping divisions here. Let's go AFC West. AFC West. There shouldn't be too much flip flop there. We're probably on the same page in that division. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
Chiefs. Chiefs are going to win that division just like last year, just like the year. It's going to be Chiefs. I had them at 14-3. Seems to be my magic number. 14-3. I mean, they're just going to run roughshod on. I have them 6-0 in the division. So almost half their wins coming from in-house.
Yep.
I mean, they're only in last year. They were 11-6, got out the gates a little slow, but I had them coming out the gates a little slow this year, and then just kind of rebounding. So once that receiver room gets healthy, and you have Rashi Rice coming in, Hollywood
So
Brown, you
you
have
haven't winning 11
Xavier.
straight to finish out then.
Sure.
Damn. I like it.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelsey. I mean, that's a fucking Pacheco, Isaiah Pacheco, who's one of my top running backs this year. Like that team is stacked. The rich get richer, and the good get good. That defense too. People sleep on the defense, and that defense, even though they did lose a couple guys in the offseason, that defense is very. But then next right up, I have Raiders. I think Gardner Minshew is going to be fine as their quarterback for the year. I don't think they're going to really. I don't push for anything. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I have them at 8-9. Then next up is the Chargers at 5-12. I don't think they're going to be very good at all. Not really many receiving options there besides Josh Palmer, Lad McConkey, Jade Shark. So another situation like Josh Allen, can Justin Herbert do something without his star receivers there and Keenan Allen and Mike? I'm going to lean no. A lot of balls he just kind of threw up to them. But it is this will be a telling point for his career. I do think he's very good, but rumor is that he is battling an injury that he's likely going to battle all season. So the next up, finally, is the Broncos. Broncos were not good last year. They're not going to be good this year. Last year, they somehow won 8 games, though. I don't know how they did that. But I mean, this year, they're going to be riding with Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback. Can Sean Payton get something out of him in this offense? I don't know. It'll be hard. There's not a whole lot there. I mean, Sutton, I think, is very good. I think he's an underrated receiver, but I don't have a whole lot of faith.
All right, yeah. So we do have one stark difference in this division, and I'll get to it in a minute. But I'm going to start out with, of course, the Chiefs, like you did, at 14-3, and like you said, they've only improved, and they just won the Super Bowl. So, I mean, what? How can they be bad? They have Mahomes, they have Kelsey. They added one of the most dangerous college players in, the rookie from Texas. He's going to be very dangerous. And like you said, the defense is really good. So yeah, the Chiefs are going to be really good, and they're going to destroy this division, like you said. The big difference in this division that I have with you.
Wild card. Travis Kelsey decides he's done and just runs off Taylor Swift, saying like, I'm done with it. I'm going to retire with my brother, and we're just going to go off and
Travel the country.
have babies, and I'm going to be going up on stage at like a rock star with Taylor.
That would be something.
He's
I'll be
already been
rooting
on
for
stage,
it.
So.
I will be rooting for that to happen. But anyway, the stark difference in this division that we have is the Denver Broncos. I actually do think they're going to be good. I am buying the Bo Nix hype. I'm buying it. I'm putting money on the table and buying it. Drew Brees 2.0. No, I'm just kidding. He's not going to be that good. But I do buy the hype. I think Bo Nix will be good in this offense with Sean Payton. Like you said, Cortland Sutton's solid. They have that other receiver too. Was it Henry? Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick.
It's not Troy Franklin. It's Marvin Mims.
Mims. Yeah. Marvin Mims. I'm pretty sure from what I've heard, he's been solid with Bo Nix there. So, and then they have the running back coming off injury, kind of, I suppose. But the defense, I don't know. I just think Bo Nix, I trust in him, and I think I have him going 9-8 and almost making the playoffs. Not making it, but almost making it. So that's our stark difference there. After them, I have the Raiders. I think they're going to take a step back. I think they won some games that they shouldn't have last year, and I think they've gotten worse, to be real. Gardner Minshew, I do like a lot, but I just don't think they're going to be winning a lot of games in this division or in the league, to be real. I mean, they do have Devontae Adams still. The defense can be okay, and I don't know. Who's their running back?
For this division, I could see the exact record as last year, honestly. Like, I could see the Chiefs just being better than they were last year at 14-3. I could see the Raiders and Broncos both going 8, Chargers being 5-12. I don't know. I think Gardner Minshew does enough to get, but
maybe I like Gardner Minshew a lot, so I hope they do better than what I'm predicting. But
yeah.
But will he even start the whole season? I could see him moving to Aiden O'Connell at some point if they're not winning games. I don't know.
Moving to Super Trooper Aiden.
Yeah, he really does with that mustache. But I do have the Chargers and 4th. I like Justin Herbert. I like their new coach. He's Harbaugh, obviously. He's a quarterback whisperer, and having Justin Herbert, they should win games just based on those two guys alone. But they seem so devoid of talent after that. Like the O line is okay,
Mhm.
but like what do they have? Who do they have? I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't think they're going to be able to do much on offense other than Herbert just desperately trying to heave throws to covered receivers. Like I don't know what they're going to do. So I have them going
yeah, I
4 and
agree.
13 to round it out.
I agree. I agree. All right. Well, I think we are done with the AFC West. We're to FC South, final division. You want to take this one, or want me to go with it?
Yeah, I'll hit it. I think this has an obvious winner based on what we saw last year, in my
Mhm.
opinion, and that is the Houston Texans. I have them going 12-5. I think C.J. Stroud and Stephon Diggs is going to be lightning out of the gate, and not to mention the other receivers that he has with him that were really good last year. Um, what's the receiver? They got Mixon, Joe Mixon. He should be really good at running back there for him, and their O line is solid. And then the defense with the defensive coach is going to be good. So the Texans, I think, are going to be a contender this year, and I think they're going to be really good. After that, I do have the Jaguars going 9-8. I think they're going to be contending for a wild card. Um, Trevor Lawrence just got paid. He hasn't really been what they thought he was when they drafted him, but he has still been productive. He's been good, just not great. Hopefully, he can break out and be great this year. Um, they added a receiver in the draft who hopefully can be good this year, although they did lose Ridley. I don't know if he can replace that production, but we'll find out. The running back is very solid, and the defense is should be good. So I think the Jaguars have potential to make a run. I don't know if they will, but they definitely have potential. After that, the Colts and Titans are both pretty similar in my eyes. I do have the Colts in third. Anthony Richardson is just dangerous with the ball. Will he be able to stay healthy is the big question with the Colts and this offense. Pittman should be good again. They added the Texas receiver, correct? 80 Mitchell. He's on the Colts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep, they
And
added
then
him.
Johnny.
So I believe he will be good for them, although he does have some concerns with how he plays. But and then I really do believe in Jonathan Taylor as the running back. I think he's going to have a resurgence. They have a really good O line, and the defense can make some plays. The Titans I do have coming in last, also at 6-11, but this could be a team that surprises some people. They do have talent. It all depends on what we see from Will Levis, the Mayo man himself. He actually got a deal with mayonnaise. Did you see that? That was hilarious.
That is awesome.
Yeah, but we'll see what they do. They have very talented receivers. Their O line is really the big question mark in my eyes. They did add a tackle, but I still don't trust them. And if they can't block for Will Levis and this offense, and they lost Derrick Henry, I just don't know if they're going to be able to win all that many games. So I have them at 6-11. What do you think?
Yeah. So outside of the top spot, our division doesn't look the same. Our standings don't look nearly the same.
Okay.
So I have obviously the Texans winning that division. I have them 12-5 as well. Then I do think that team is going to just a solid squad. I think they're going to make some noise. They're going to make some playoff noise as well. CJ Stroud is the truth. That team only got better with Mixon coming in, with Diggs coming in. They could go better than 12-5. That is a fucking good team.
Yeah.
Um, they could surprise a lot of people. I just don't have them making that big of a. I do think that they'll make a leap, but I think a two game increase is justifiable. I'm not going to have them go from 10 wins to 15 in one season. So next up, I do have the Colts. You had pegged Jonathan Taylor as a comeback candidate. I agree there. I think he's a comeback candidate there. Their offensive line is solid. Defense, it's not a world beater, but it is solid as well. And Anthony Richardson, I think a full year healthy, I think is a good quarterback. Not necessarily like I don't think he's on CJ Stroud level. I don't like upper echelon by any means, but I think he's certainly serviceable to get them to a 9-8 record with what they have
It could happen for
surrounding
sure.
them. I mean, look at his Pittman, Donnie Mitchell, like you said, and Downs. Like that's a good core with Jonathan Taylor there. There's a lot of weapons for him, and he can certainly put the ball out. Jonathan Downs there. I think having a Donnie Mitchell there and Downs that offense,
I really don't
those
trust
approach.
Richardson's health. That's my big thing
No,
with the Colts.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
And do we trust
100%.
Flacco if Richardson goes down? Maybe.
I mean,
Oh,
Flacco took the Browns to the playoffs last year when the
true.
Browns had like nobody. So right now, Flacco looks like the best backup quarterback in the league. But next on up, I do have the Titans. I have the Titans going 8-9. I think it's a takeoff year for Will Levis. I think he's going to really just step up and be a lot better of a quarterback than people think he might be. I think you're pretty high on him as well
I do like Will
uh,
Levis. Yeah,
to take that next leap.
he might be my
Hopefully
Baker
this year.
Mayfield this year. I don't know. We'll see.
I think we both like Levis a lot, so I think we're just gonna highlight Levis a lot on this channel. But yeah, I like Levis, whole banana or not. He's a maniac, but he gets the job done. Sometimes you need a maniac back there behind.
Hmm.
I think he's gonna be good. He's got Calvin Ridley there, wide receiver. He has Hopkins if when he comes back as well. I mean, there's a Conwu as a tight end. I know Derrick Henry's gone, but that's just the direct going. I mean, they were going more of uh, kind of trying to get to more of a passing game last year, just couldn't get there. But I think they're going to be fine. And then I've got the Jaguars at 7-10. I'm just not really too sold on the Jag. Defense is really bad, and they did nothing.
They got your coach though.
Doug Peterson.
Yeah, dude, that's your boy.
He did get us a Super Bowl, and I'll forever love Doug Peterson because he got the Eagles a Super Bowl. But it's Trevor Lawrence for me, man. Like
Don't trust him.
I don't trust him. I don't trust him. He hasn't done nearly enough from what I've seen to justify like them being a contending team. And yes, they went out and they got some guys, but they also lost Calvin Ridley. They drafted Thomas out of LSU, but they lost Calvin Ridley, like an
Hmm.
already established, very good NFL wide receiver. They went and got Gabe Davis, but what is Gabe Davis? Just a deep threat. I mean, he isn't that reliable. He wasn't super reliable with the Bills. He would have like 3 good games a year, and that would make
Wait,
up like
Calvin Ridley's on the Titans now, isn't he?
yeah,
Dang, I might have to raise my Titans record, dude. I don't know. Anyway, keep going.
yeah. I mean, like Gabe Davis with the Bills. I mean, he had like 3 good games a year, and that would make up like 70% of it.
True.
I
Boomer
just don't have
bust.
a ton of faith in them outside of Christian Kirk and really Evan Ingram. I think Evan Ingram could be top 3 tight end this year. But outside of those guys, I don't really have a ton of faith. Travis Etienne is super talented, but he's also pretty small. And the way he runs, I think is going to get hurt. I think it's just a matter of time.
Everything you're talking about right now is making me want to hype the Titans up even more. I might switch the Titans and Jags record, to be honest. 9-8
There you go.
and 6-11 instead.
There you go.
I might be on the Titans hype train. We'll see. We'll see what happens
Dieter
week
will,
one.
Dieter will be.
No,
No, I'll just talk
no,
about Titans the whole
no.
time.
Yeah, he won't stop.
Yeah.
Let's hit the playoffs real quick. Let's run through them though.
Yeah. We'll run through these guys here. Running through on the AFC side. Let me just go back here. Boom. First round of the AFC. Rounding it out, I had the seeds in the AFC going Jets, Ravens, Chiefs, Texans, Bengals, Steelers, and Colts. Going into the playoffs though, out of the NFC, I have the Packers beating the Cowboys. I have the 49ers taking the home game against the Rams. The Rams, I do like them, but I'm not going to pick them to upset the 49ers when the 49ers seem to have their number every single damn year. The best game of this opening round for the NFC, I think, is going to be the Detroit Lions versus the Atlanta Falcons as a very good game in Atlanta. But I have Detroit taking that. And then over to the AFC, I have the Texans winning a first round playoff game against the Bengals, 4 seed versus 5. I have the winning against the Steelers, 3 seed versus 6, and the home Ravens winning against the Colts.
Okay, so my wild card looks like I have the Eagles and the Bucks in a rematch. I do have the Eagles taking it though this time. And then I have the Packers heading to Atlanta to face the Falcons, and I have the Falcons pulling off kind of the upset against the Packers here. I have the Rams going to Detroit in a rematch also from last year, Rams and Lions. I have the Lions overcoming the Rams again. And then I have the Bills going to the New York to MetLife to face the Jets. Although after talking about this, I'm not sure how I feel about the Bills anymore. But I have the Bills going and facing the Jets, a little divisional battle in the playoffs. I have the Jets taking it relatively easily, I think. And then I have the Jags heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. I have the Bengals taking that one. And then the Dolphins heading into Houston to take on the Texans. And the Texans will win out. The Finns, they will probably die down the stretch again, just like last year.
Yeah, just like last year. And honestly, that's why I had them not making the playoffs. I had them going out pretty early on, right there with the Jets on the division, and then just kind of plummet.
Much like the Eagles last year. Although I don't see that happening with the Eagles again.
But yeah, on to the next round here. Going into the divisional round, matchups pretty good on my side. You got the Ravens versus the Chiefs in Baltimore. You got the Jets versus the Texans in New York. I am actually going with the Jets. Sorry, not the Jets. I'm going with the Texans upsetting the Jets in New York, and I'm going with the Ravens arguably upsetting the Chiefs in Baltimore, even though they are the home team. And the Eagles beating Detroit in Philadelphia, and the 49ers taking it to Green Bay in Lambeau, going for a Philly San Francisco rematch.
All right. My divisional round is I have the Lions heading into San Fran and beating the 49ers for a battle. That'd be a really fun game. I have the Falcons going into Philly and getting taken down, eaten for lunch by that Philly team. The fans will not be fun for the Atlanta Falcons there. I have the Texans going into Kansas City and beating Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs. So we both have the Chiefs losing in the
I like
divisional
it.
round. That's fun. And then I
And
have
the
the
Texans
Bengals.
advancing.
Yeah, I have the Bengals heading into New York, taking on the Jets, and Aaron Rodgers announcing that he owns Joe Burrow and the Bengals now at the end of that game, with the Jets winning.
I went back and forth between the Jets actually making it to the AFC Championship, and I think they could if it goes the way we think it does. They are the top seed there in the AFC. I do think they can make it there. The matchup was just with CJ Stroud, and I wanted to take CJ over Aaron. So,
Yeah, I feel you.
yeah. On this though, next round, you got the Texans going into Baltimore. I'm gonna say it stops here for our boy CJ. And Baltimore actually takes
Wow,
it,
you are
advances
way higher on the Ravens than me. Okay,
to the Super Bowl.
I don't even have
And
them making the playoffs.
it's Mr. Harbaugh going back again. And then out of the NFC and that rematch with the San Francisco 49ers and Philly, I think it's going to go just like last time when the San Francisco 49ers came into Philly and got absolutely fucking murdered. It's going to happen again. Philadelphia
Of
going
course,
to the Super Bowl in 2025.
Ravens Eagles, huh?
Ravens,
It'd be a fun game. Lamar getting to a Super Bowl would be fun.
yeah.
Yeah, so I have the Texans heading into MetLife taking on the Jets, and I was going back and forth on this one too, just like you were in the divisional round. Um, I actually initially had the Texans going to the Super Bowl, but I switched it right before we started recording. I do have the Jets and Aaron Rodgers heading into the Super Bowl, beating the Texans. And then I have Detroit, the Lions, heading into Philadelphia. I think that would be an absolute amazing game. Two
A lot of
really
fun.
tough, gritty teams battling it out for Super Bowl rights. And I may be biased, but I do have the Lions winning that game in Philly. That'd be insane. Philly might kill someone after that game, but
Philly might. I think the Lions would have to watch out going back to their bus because it might be pretty dangerous.
bring in some security. But yeah, I have the Jets and Lions in the Super Bowl.
So, Philadelphia versus the Baltimore Ravens on my
Don't do
side,
it.
and
You're gonna do it.
at the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, wow! Ravens winning the Super Bowl. I have them going 8-9 on my schedule, or nine
And
and
the
eight.
Baltimore Ravens here. It took everything in me not to pick the Philadelphia Eagles, but just out of the sake of two new coordinators, I don't think a team has ever won a Super Bowl with two brand new coordinators. So I don't know if it'll happen again. Yeah.
Yeah, I have Detroit taking out Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Jared Goff gets to hoist the Lombardi after losing so long ago with the Rams. And yeah, I just love Detroit. I love their style. I love everything they bring to the table. And I'm really rooting for a Super Bowl win this year for Detroit and Dan
And
Campbell. Take those
I'm gonna
knees.
change my. I'm gonna go Eagles.
What? No, you can't change your pick. You cannot do that. You already picked you bet on the Ravens. You're not changing
No, I
it.
bet on the Eagles, dude.
You bet on the Eagles and then pick the Ravens? What is happening? I don't even know what's
I
happening.
already put money on the Eagles to win it.
You're out of your mind. You're ridiculous.
Yeah. I picked the Ravens on here.
They lost to
So
the
it wasn't just
Buccaneers in the wild card, and you're going to pick them.
yeah. Yeah. So that is a wrap on our season preview. It's debatable whether I chose the Eagles or the Ravens, but for all intents and purposes, I'm going with the Eagles. There's no way I'm not going to pick the Eagles to win the Super Bowl if I think they're going to be in the conversation. So even though I said it in the prediction live, I'm
He's not a
going
true
Eagles, baby.
believer. You guys heard it here. He picked the
Eagles,
Ravens.
baby. Go
He picked
Birds.
the Ravens.
Anyway, that's a wrap on another episode. If you like what you hear, like, subscribe, follow. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, on YouTube, obviously. Check us out on social media at Flea Flicker Show, TikTok, the Tickety Talk. Anyway, that's like you said, that's a wrap on another episode. Until next time, everybody. Love y'all. See ya.
Peace.